Well, we have a series. So, right off the opening face-off tonight, Tampa looked different. The whole game felt different, and yet you look at the shots, and Washington did turn it on, but there was a guy who was there to stop it. Um, the power play goal in the first, Stamkos from Hedman and point was pretty. And the things that I noticed right away were that Tampa was taking the body. The way that the hits were thrown around by Washington in games 1 and 2, Tampa kind of did that tonight. Second period, Kucherov scores on the power play. That's his seventh of the playoffs from Hedman and Stamkos. And then, to me, the nail in the coffin was that third. Hedman with his first of the playoffs from Kucherov and Palat. And if you're Hedman and you're going to break out of a scoring drought for goals, that's how you do it. Just all you've got is the net to shoot at. I felt bad for Holtby on that one. He had no chance. And really, it looked like a rout at that point. Then Connolly scores his fourth. Connolly, do you think Connolly's fired up playing against his former team? I think he is. He scores from Steven and Niskanen to make it 3-1, but then Braden Point scores his sixth from Johnson and Coburn. And what a bounce back game by the Tampa Bay Lightning from top to bottom. Third period, Kuznetsov did score his ninth from Connolly and Eller and made it look close, but in the end it's a 4-2 game. They pulled the goalie with more than 2 minutes left, couldn't get the goal. Tampa couldn't get the empty netter either, but at the end of the night, Vasilevsky's first star in my eyes with 34 saves. Vasi was great tonight. Technically, he looked very, very good. And Tampa, this series is now joined. Holtby saves 20 out of 24 shots, so he allows 4 goals. Vasi allows 2 goals, and Vasi faced 12 more shots. So when we do the preview for Game 4, I would expect the stats to be a little closer than they looked going into this game. I was waiting for Vasilevsky to have the bounce-back game. I was waiting for Kucherov to start getting on the board, and for Stamkos and Hedman, and this is the kind of thing that Tampa's needed. And, of course, they talked tonight about how way back when Tampa was wearing their original jerseys and Washington was wearing the ones with the eagle, that Tampa lost their first 2 games at home in a series against Capitals and came back and won that series. So they're drawing from roughly 20 years ago, but they're drawing on something that has happened before. And this is what drives Capitals fans nuts, and I get it. I do. No matter who Washington's playing, you can probably dredge up footage from 15, 20, 30 years ago of them losing a series they probably should have won, where they were leading or they had chances in overtime, couldn't bury it, and the other team scores. And it's going to be frustrating for Washington. So at least if Washington does hold on, win this series, and then win the Stanley Cup, hopefully those highlight packages don't show up as often as they tend to with Washington, because there's always going to be that group of fans that's waiting for them to collapse. It was a good game tonight. I thought they let a lot go. The only thing I'm wondering is this. So, at the beginning of the season, they were calling slashes on the hands. And I went, okay, yep, those should be called slashes on the hands. Well, remember Mark Mathot. Now they're calling slashes where a guy just knocks another guy's stick out of his hands. And Gary Galley said tonight on CBC, on Hockey Night in Canada, so now you're calling a guy for a penalty because the other guy wasn't holding his stick strongly enough. So if you're barely holding onto your stick and the other guy comes over and smacks it out of your hands, he's going to get a penalty. And they didn't used to call that. I know any hockey I played, that was just normal. When you're back checking a guy, standard is you put your stick over top of theirs. You make sure their stick isn't going anywhere. Yeah, their feet may move around and they may end up trying to get a pass, but if their stick isn't free, and if you're not doing it in a way that holds them or in some way that's against the rules, I don't know. I guess now I'm slashing every 10 seconds when I play. So I'm going to have to go back and watch the Brody Hintz game that we had a few weeks ago and see just how many slashes I was guilty of. I might have got 100 penalty minutes in that game. I had no idea. But again, this series now is getting closer to being tied. Washington, now the pressure's on to win Game 4, or they forfeit home ice advantage to Tampa. But of course, if Tampa wins the next game, what home ice advantage? So we're kind of back there. Now Washington has a 3-4 record at home in the playoffs. We're going to hear about that for the next couple of days. Again, remember, they lost the first 2 at home in the playoffs against Columbus, so it makes it look worse than it is. But this is a fun game for Tampa fans, and I enjoyed it for watching just for the amount of skill that was shown here by the Tampa Bay Lightning, and it's got to be bothering Washington a little bit. And Ovechkin was really angry during this game. Ovi visibly frustrated, just with the fact that when he had a good shot, he put it right in the breadbasket. You hit a goalie here, he's just going to drop, crouch, and he's got it. So it may look like a good shot, and the crowd may be just like, "Oh, what a hard shot," and it looked like it went about 100 miles an hour. But if you're hitting the goalie in the logo, he's got it. He's not going to lose that one. So he was mad at himself, and that's good. That kind of fire, Ovi's going to need that for the next game, and come out and try to avenge what happened in this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And like I said, this is a series. No sweeps in the third round. I'll talk to you guys again soon.